we follow our standard routine. We check in, we arrive. There's going to be a bit of introduction. Then we're going to share what is new, what is our release this month, and we have a Q&A, and then we summarize everything. You can share your thoughts and ideas about the call. And there will be also the answer to today's quiz. And this was an observation I made this morning in a flax field, and it came as a big surprise. Always feels very, I'm just very happy if I see a new bird. I have never observed that species.
Me neither.
And it's a beautiful bird. That was sitting in the flax field with a lot of sparrows, but this was a very easily distinguishable species. All right, I didn't know it, however. Any idea?
I have seen it in the bird book.
Okay.
Maybe I've understand.
Well, I stop sharing. It's time to check in. How are you? Where are you? What's up? Maybe I hand over to Gloria. She's sitting opposite of me.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to see so many people in the call today. It's summertime. Alex is gonna come tonight. I don't know. I'm excited for the call, and yeah, let's see whatever it is. I hand it to Leire, but she's new in the call. You can present yourself.
Okay, my name is Leire. I'm 20 years old and I came a month ago. And
Where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
What are you doing here in Greenstaff?
I'm helping around with, yeah, I'm a volunteer helping around and just learning new stuff. Okay, Joseph, if you want to.
Thank you, Leia. Hi everyone, I'm Yusuf. I come from Italy, and I am one of the former volunteers with of Green Steps with DS project. I now cooperate with Green Steps from the side of communication. I'm quite excited to see the new features in the ARK. And I hand over to Alex.
Hi, hopefully my internet connection is okay. Currently coming from Zurich, so should arrive in St. Pölten around 6:30. I'll be a volunteer. I'm originally from Northern Ireland and Hong Kong. And I'll hand over to Martina.
Hi everybody, I'm Martina Bühler. I'm living in Zurich, and I just had a little time out, but now I'm again back. I make my own business. So it's in career counseling, but also innovation in social projects. And like that, I also came to Green Steps for connection, also to, yes, bring new ideas maybe. And I'm very interested and was on your page again, and I find that it's much easier than at the start where I saw it to also come into that. And yes, I'm very happy to see very much. Yeah. And I hand over to Lucas.
Hi everyone. Yeah, happy to be in the call and looking forward to show you what we've been working on in the last 2 months. Yeah, for those of you who don't know me, not everybody knows me. Okay, I will hand over to Sonia.
Hello, I'm Sonia. I work together with Lucas on the development of the platform. I was busy with preparing the room for Alex. and I will hand
Okay.
it over to Java.
Hello, my name is Jaba. Sorry, there's a noisy. I'm in the train, but I'm from Georgia and I'm volunteer from Christians for 1 year. Sorry, I think I could not speak anymore. I'm listening
Good.
to you, everyone.
Okay, that's it.
No, there's Hans.
Ah, sorry, Hans.
Hans, are you there?
I think you might have some problems with the microphone.
Maybe also with the camera. Well, Hans is with us. He's also based in Zurich, and maybe he has a possibility to join later in audio and video. All right. So then I would say we take off. We have quite a lot to share, and I continue with my slide deck. Wow, it's a long list, you see. So what functionalities do we show you that could make bioregional education easy? So we have set up welcome messages. You might have noticed whenever you sign up to the ARK, there's not really a welcome message. So we have drafted one. I'm not sure if we show this, but whoever is in a role of a guide or a mentor will receive these messages, and there will be basic information included on what you can do with the ARK. Then we have a better version of school reports. I explain you why. Then we have fast activity creation for communities, attach species to all activities. That was only possible in the past with routes. We have the BFG Multiplayer Mode, the choice between QR and geocaching quests, search for commons, and we have a Georgian translation. That's what we're going to show you today. And I have a bit of an introduction first. Actually, yesterday when we rehearsed the call, I thought I have nothing, but there is a bit that actually might make sense to, yeah, maybe even repeat. So a guiding statement for our work is by Ken Robinson. He says that there is not only a crisis in natural resources, but also one in human resources, and the two are connected. So you might have heard this before. Who is familiar with this quote? Anybody familiar with this quote? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, it's actually quite a deep insight, and we have based on this also some of the pain points that we are working on. So in schools, there is a lot of talk about the achievement gap, that some kids do well, others really perform very badly. Then we have this issue with screen addiction, more and more digital content, and of course, nature alienation, being disconnected from nature. And we think that there are means to resolve these pain points. And I have two other quotes here and a picture of children being just outdoors. One is from a very famous German film director, Werner Herzog. He says, "The world reveals itself to those who are on foot." And it implies that we should not sit. And this relates very much to a book written by a doctor, Kelly Starrett. He wrote a book called Desk-Bound, Standing Up in a Sitting World. And it's quite well known in the German-speaking world, but under a different title. The title in German is Sitting is the New Smoking. Sitzen ist das neue Rauchen. And I think that's not only true for adults, it's actually true for children even more. So we think moving in nature is super important, and our project tries in different ways to exactly achieve this, that we get out of the classrooms with the kids, but not only the kids, everybody. So the solution here is networked and gamified place-based education. One pillar is that we walk. A second pillar is that we experience, and for this we want to create a bioregional curriculum. And the third pillar is that we create gamified learning environments so that learning actually becomes, well, closer to play. But today we also show you a draft of a school report, and you might ask yourself, how is this all connected to walking, experiencing, and playing? Well, the reality of schools is that they work a lot with evaluation. Every student, every teacher, every school is constantly evaluated on a national basis and also on an international basis. And we think that if we really want to change this, we need to also think about how we can evaluate and visualize learning progress. So I'm not going to go in detail here, but you all know Abraham Maslow, and apart from being a famous psychologist, he thought a lot about psychology and education. And his idea was that education, like psychotherapy, family life, work, or society, should aid everybody to grow, to unfold your potential. And when we look into a very famous assessment of schools and students, PISA, then we see that some countries are performing very well, others less. And of course, this is connected to the resources that you have, the money that you can spend on education, but it's also very much connected to what is being evaluated. And it's math, sciences, and languages. It's always three languages, three subjects in a closed classroom setting. And this starts already very early, and it basically defines how we are being educated throughout life. I have looked at a classic annual evaluation. On the left side, you see my evaluation card from the 8th grade in 1988. On the right side, you see an 8th grade evaluation card from my daughter. And I mean, it's more than 30 years in difference, but you see, it's still the same subjects. It's still the same way we are being evaluated. And you might ask yourself to look into your old grading papers, your annual grading reports or school reports from the 8th grade, and check them out. How do they look like? What kind of grade did you get? And as far as I know, in most countries on this planet, it's still working like this. Now you have these subjects, and they are being taught in 50-minute lessons, and you're being actually evaluated in the same industrial way ever since. So we think that the triple focus could be an alternative. It's a concept that has been introduced by a psychologist and a systems theorist, Daniel Goleman and Peter Senge. And it's about an inner focus, an outer focus in regard to other people, and an outer focus in regard to the planet. And we have taken this concept on the ARK and have just simplified it. So it's about me learning about yourself, us learning about our connection with others, helping others, and the planet, the ecosystems in which we live. And this is a good bridge to gamification, because we have implemented this triple focus with learning badges on the ARK. So we have impact points for learners. They can collect planets. We have impact points for guides who help others learning. They collect trees, and we have impact points for guardians who actually take care and protect the environment, and they collect minerals. And all this is part of gamification. And gamification is, in short, doing meaningful things with fun and perseverance. So that's it as an introduction. I hope that was quick and spot on, because today we talk about two main new functionalities. One is a better version of school reporting, and another one is about gamifying the ARK a little bit better. So with this, I hand over to Lucas.
All right, so let's get started. We've got a bunch of things to show you. So I will walk you through the changes one by one. You should see my screen now. I will start with the first point that Knut was speaking about, which is the welcome email. So Knut has written a really wonderful, encompassing everything message that all the new registered users will get when they make an account on the ARK. So this is still in working. Yeah, I suppose most of you already have an account, so you will not get this one. But yeah, we've got one for everyone, for every new registration. And then we've got one for all the mentors roles, which basically speak more in detail about their role and about what they can do. And so with this, we're trying to bridge the knowledge gap for new users to basically know what is it about that they are signing up for. All right, second thing that we speak about today are the school reports. So this is still in beta, but we still decided to show it to you because it's the end of the school year, and that was actually also the trigger why we decided to do that. And so Sonia has been working on a way to generate a PDF report with all kinds of interesting data that can basically report on what the students have been doing. So let's have a look at this interface. Very simple so far, not public yet. Basically, you set up the start date and end date. So I'm gonna do the school year 0901 until now, and generate the report. And basically, I'm gonna get a simple PDF, rather Spartan so far, but having all kinds of interesting insights. So we decided to show the number of students, teachers, parents that have joined the school community and the number of classes, and then show how many outdoor activities have been organized on the ARK, how many impact points have been generated, which is basically translating into hours, right? This is 4,800 learning hours. We've got the increase in bioregional identity, which is calculated as the total number of species and specimens that there are in the region that the school is, divided by what the students have observed. So here we can see the starting and the ending state of that. We can see the average number of species that the kids have observed, average number of specimens, and the average number of observations. So that's how many times you have observed even the same specimen and counts twice. And then we've got a nice table where we can see an overview of these values per class. And so
yeah,
trying to work with the data that we have available, and fortunately for us, we've got a data visualization and data science expert on the way on the train. Hi, Alex. So we've got some more insights on how to make this even more informative. Knut, you wanted to share?
Yeah, I think it's it's important to understand why this is necessary, because intuitively I would have never started such a project, but now working for 1 year in a formal school, I also understand that if you are the principal, vice principal, whatever, a school administrator, and you would like to know what a new project, what kind of advantages it brings to the school, you would like to have an overview, an executive report. And in my school, there are this year 6 classes, next year there are 8 classes, and all the teachers do different things. And usually the teachers are actually sort of working alone. They don't really collaborate. But the Green Steps ARK actually helps them to collaborate and drive a joint goal, a higher bioregional identity, jointly. And with the reporting, we'll definitely improve on this first draft. A principal can easily create an overview and can assess what has been done. That's the idea behind it. And it centers very much around the impact points. So how much time did you spend in the last year outdoors? And the second part is really the bioregional identity. And this is what, yeah, I have been dwelling a lot on. Which species should students learn? How many? In which year? In which grade? Should they start with whatever you see in the garden? The teachers don't really have an overview, and I'm talking to my colleagues that teach biology to understand in which year, in the 5th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade, they should learn what. This does not really exist in national curricula.
Right. Yeah, thanks for explaining. And so I will move on to the next point, which is faster creation of activities for communities. So I will not really show anything in here. I will explain when you are creating an activity in, for example, a school class. There was a little bit of friction because you had to pre-fill very often the location, so like the address and the commons, and maybe more things. I don't have this on the top of my mind. So we have looked at the process and checked what can be pre-filled, so that basically this whole thing is much more just clicking next and only changing the parts that have really changed. Next thing is attaching species to all activities. So until now, we were only able to attach species and specimens to routes. So it had to be an activity which is also a route, which means that there is a map and you go between trees with a guide. But more and more we are meeting activities where we would like to basically award observation of species. For example, when we work with children in gardening projects. So now, basically with any activity, and I will show it on our Crew Call activity, you can go in step 3, details, which is where you do the learning path, impact points, schedule, and now also species. So basically in your, let's say, gardening activity, you can look for the species that will or have been encountered, and then later on award observation of these species to the participants. So with this, basically also these activities can contribute to increasing learners' bioregional identity. Yeah, so that's it. And the next one is...
No, Lucas, wait for a second. So Gloria has something to share about this.
All right.
Yeah, no, I mean, actually, the only thing I could actually talk about is a very practical experience of this Groovy Garden project that we had, which was the main reason why actually we wanted to have species, also for very local and stable activities that are not just a walk. And what I could share is maybe with how like I can show like so we did like a lot of classes over winter, and in spring we were planting the different plants, and every a time that we would plant different plants, I would award the kids the species that we were actually doing on the same day. I don't know if it makes sense that I share the screen to show it, because my computer is a bit it's a bit unstable and I will be scared. I can try. Okay, like very. So for example, let's see, Otto Glockenschule, because this is the school where I work. This is already the dashboard of the class where I used to do Groovy Garden project. And here you see in the past activities how many we have. And I can select the one, for example, around March and April, this is when we started to plan something. So let's see what they have learned on this specific day. Here I see this. Okay, this is the name of the activity. And if I go in the dashboard, maybe here is where I can actually see that I awarded them with impact points, but also with my original identity. So that day, they have actually learned about pumpkin, beetroot, and sunflower. And yeah, like recently we also did an activity about insects. So this is also something that can always be added in such an activity, because when you're working in a garden, you can also encounter worms, bees, butterflies. So it's very nice to have this option also for very local and activity in one single garden.
Yeah, I mean, if you have already ideas now that you want to share in regard to this, we just felt it's necessary to have it not only in walks, but also for a garden-based activity.
Can also be an example of when you went in Feldmühle with kids, and for example, there is a pond there where you can actually fish larvae into a pond, and you can definitely encounter larvae of different butterflies, not butterflies, sorry, libellen, dragonflies, yes, and or there are many other like slugs, no, snails, and maybe you can encounter frogs. So that's also very local, a pond. You don't need to walk, you just need to fish.
Yeah, so that's the idea behind it. And the way it works in a school is that you usually have to set up actually kind of goals. So with the library items that we have, we can pre-fill them with certain species that we might encounter most likely. And then the teacher that actually does the activity can delete those that are not part of the actual activity or add new ones. And this is very, very a very good functionality for really working with classes.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Good. So I will get to the next point, which is one of the bigger things that we've been working on this month, and that's the possibility of playing multiplayer in the quest. So for those of you who don't know, quests are basically games that we can create out of the mapped trees, and then people at any time independently go to observe those trees and answer quizzes about them, and therefore learn about them. But we've observed the zombie effect, which is basically a group of people walking around in a park or in the forest, staring into their screens. And that was something that we didn't really like that much. And we were thinking, how can we improve that situation? And we thought maybe just one device would be enough for a group of people. But of course, to motivate the group to stay together, everybody has to be awarded the observation of those big friendly giants. So let me share my screen again, and let's have a look how this is now possible. So I'm gonna select one of the quests which we have in St. Pölten, the Sonnenpark, and I'm gonna pretend that I'm on my phone. So this is the mobile view, and as soon as I click continue, I get, oh, I'm already in the game, sorry. I need to choose another one. I need to choose one where I'm not playing yet. So I'm gonna just randomly pick one, and I'm gonna start. And the ARK asks me whether I want to play multiplayer or single player. If I select single player, it's the same old quest. As soon as I select multiplayer, I get a little intro which explains me how this is done. So several players are use a single device to navigate the quest and answer the quiz questions. You need to first add players to the quest, and after completing a stop, the collectible BFG card and the impact points are distributed to all the players. And when you continue, then you can see who is already in the quest. You can either tap to search them on the ARK, or you can show a QR code to which they can scan and they will appear in the game. And then you continue and you just start playing, you navigate to the first tree, and then basically play the quest as usual, and the group of people is collaborating on this, on the quizzes and on the navigation using one single device. That's it. Anybody wants to add something about this?
Well, I mean, the educational background is just like Lucas said. We have observed that if you have a class of children, let's say they're 13, 14 years old, and you want them to actually interact with nature, and then they all pull their mobile phone, and they're all on their screen. It's not really a nice sight. So it's against our principles. So we either guide them, which is not so easy with this age group. They actually want to play alone, or you find a mechanism that they actually play together. And I tried this already. It really works well. I mean, there's a bit of a fight who is going to use the phone and who is going to structure this. But once they have found the team, they really work in teams, and they use this device as a sort of a compass. And then you can break up a class of 20 students into 4 or 5 teams, and it really works nicely. So I think we have made here a big improvement. And of course, you could also do it in a more educational setting with iPads. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, unfortunately, most
I have a question regarding this feature.
Yeah.
As less about the feature, but more about the potential marketing of the marketing, whether this would be worth a press release to educational media or even game media, that as a major milestone we have achieved to reach now the multiplayer level of our fantastic app, which is already helping many communities. And you know, we have so much already developed, but we need to spread the message so more people realize what lies there to be used. And maybe we can make ourselves a little bit bigger than we are by establishing ourselves as already being a wonderful player in the market, which now has this additional feature, which makes it ready for mass adoption. And sending out some press releases to, yeah, those kind of media, like online platforms, magazines, teacher magazines, whatever, could be interested in that. And it doesn't need to be a huge thing. It can be a half a A4 page of a text with 2-3 print screens, and just send it out and look what happens. Maybe someone will be interested to actually make a story about, and then a few more 100 people learn about the ARK. Because, you know, all these magazines, they not necessarily have a lot of resources, but they always need content, and that can be interesting content. So that's my question. What do you think about this?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
it's a good idea. Yeah, I have another
And
idea.
I could help to put together a list of potential candidate magazines. Sorry, I think my internet is
No,
weak,
it's good.
or yours, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes, you very well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a cool idea. Let's do it. Knut, you wanted to say, you were saying something?
I can help to make a list of potential magazines or platforms or newspapers who might be interested in receiving such a press release.
That would be a great help, Hans, really, because we don't really have this this competence in our team. That would be a great help, yeah, and we can definitely kind of draft a short message with a few screenshots and I don't know, a QR code if people want to try it. What I wanted to say is in September there's a big event or a large event of the German, the Swiss, and the Austrian Transition Network in the village next to our town. It's the annual meeting of transition in the German-speaking countries, and I would like to design such a quest in that little village so that people that participate in this conference can actually really try it. I think that might be also a good opportunity to promote the functionality and show how the app connects people with neighborhoods and nature. But a press release up front already now in summer would be great. So if you can send us a list, if you can brainstorm, maybe others also have an idea, then we will definitely do that.
Okay, I'll put together a list of names, media, titles.
Yeah. And one more thought. I mean, some of you might have played Roblox. Do you know Roblox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a kid that is 11 years old, and he's kind of infiltrated through classmates more than he's actually interested himself. But you know it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
played
you
Roblox
played it.
when I was younger.
Yeah. So it's basically also a platform of online games. It's nothing in nature. It's all online. But it works the same way, no? You pull in friends to play with you. So that's you invite friends to play with you, and then you complete in a virtual environment. You don't go outdoors, but kids know this functionality. Invite a friend, and so I hope that it's really in this age group of, I don't know, yeah, the teenagers, 13, 14, something that they are really familiar with and that they will use.
All right. Yeah, we've got a bunch of more ideas about that, also doing this kind of like a voting thing, or who can answer the quiz question first. But that's not really in line with reducing on the number of cell phones. So for now, we went with this way, multiplayer. Another thing that we came up with for the quests is the ability of switching between two modes of playing. So you might know that we have one way, which is through the QR codes, and another way, which is more like geocaching, where you need to basically be close to the tree to get message which is asking you, can you see the tree now? So before that, basically both of them were active at the same time. But now when you are editing the quest, as the creator or the designer, you can now select what is the mode of observation. So if you plan to print out the QR codes and place them on the stops, then basically select scan QR code, and players will see the button of scan the QR code. Otherwise, they will observe the specimen or the stop when they are closer than 10 meters. Yeah. So mostly now we use this device location based because it doesn't require you to stick QR codes. But of course, it is also removing the visibility of the game to random passerbys. So in some areas, in some places, it might be better to do the QR codes, of course. And so this is how you switch. All right, so the next thing is search for commands. A small but small feature, but kind of helping you to navigate faster. As you can see, there are already many commands in here. So we have just added a simple search in here. And so I think, for example, we've got type A as a new command. So very fast to find it. And another thing that is in here is also that your current commands, so the one where you are located currently, is always on the top in the My Current Commands section for fast access. Okay, and last but not least,
Lucas,
oh yeah,
just
go
hold
ahead.
on. So we asked Lara to introduce her home commons so that it's more tangible for everybody. And maybe you
What's
can
the
open
name?
quickly on the eye. So we have a little explanation here. If people set up a commons, what is a commons? That it should be a rather small place. Mostly it's a municipality, but it's a place that we take stewardship of. And this is why we map species and specimens in the commons. All right. And maybe Lara can share the screen, and she shows us her home commons. She's currently also in St. Pölten, you will see, but she shows us her home commons.
All right.
Okay, my home command is Gayanes, which is this one. And I prepared some pictures. This is Gayanes. And I spent at least, look at me. On my computer.
What? Oh, it's off.
Oh yeah, I know, because
You have no power?
yeah.
Yeah, you can continue.
Okay. Wait, but it's still shared. Okay. Okay. Well,
Or should I go on sharing?
maybe.
Yeah.
You can talk a little bit about this first picture since this is.
Yeah, I spent most of my childhood in Gayanes, like between 14 and 16 years. And
Let's see. You can explain more or less.
yeah,
I think, Knut, you're gonna share?
Yeah, I'm
or-
gonna share. Give me a second.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
Sharing now, Gayanes. No, this is the presentation. Sorry. Share screen. Here it should be, and here we are. So Yeah, and Leire has a few pictures here. It's
So,
very different from St. Pölten, no?
yeah, I went to a small school where we were only 18 in the whole school, only 18 students, 3 teachers, and 2 classes, 2 classrooms. And I learned this yesterday, but I saw that Rayanes is huge, but we are like, we're not a lot of people there. So there is a lot of space with nothing. With nothing, yeah. With no people living there. Yeah. And if you want to visit Cayanes, I think the most beautiful place is La Albufera, which is a lake, but it's protected because there are like turtles and ducks and animals. So you can swim, but it's very beautiful.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Leire. For us, it was just interesting to also discuss this in the team, because we come from so different places, no? Some are very densely populated, others are empty, but you have nature everywhere. And so establishing a commons means something very different for everybody. But it's the places that we know very well, that we care about. Thank you, Leire. Okay, Lucas, I think the last point is still there.
Yeah, so the last point is about language. So you heard from Java in the beginning. We added the Georgian language, and I just really wanted to show it because it looks really cool. For me, I always like new scripts, and yeah, I was totally not familiar with this one. Unfortunately, Java is not in the call anymore. So we cannot know more about it, but yeah, that's it.
That's all about biodiversity or a form of diversity, because Java told me it's only spoken by 3 million people and maybe 1.5 million that are in exile in other countries. But it's very, very few people speaking that language.
Yeah, so as you can see, we've got quite a bunch of languages already. We are very happy about that. And I'm in the process of switching to a better user interface for doing the translations for Weblate. So hopefully it will be easier for our translators to keep things up to date. Cool. So yeah, that's it for the new features of this crew call. Can I hang back to you, Knut?
Then I do a quick wrap up, a recap before we go into our Q&A and sharing session. So let's try to find the slide deck again. Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah. So you see here on the right side still this picture of gamification. I think with the multiplayer mode, we have added a nice feature that creates a gamified learning environment. The welcome message will help people to understand basic functionalities instantly, and we're going to repeatedly share it whenever people take up a new role. We've started with the school reporting to visualize the learning progress and also pioneer an assessment alternative to PISA, which is not based on competition but collaboration. And well, we have talked about the multiplayer mode. So that's it. And time to listen to your ideas and thoughts before I tell you which bird it was that we saw in the beginning.
I found it.
Martina, we don't hear anything, or is it only us?
I'm sorry, I was sorry, it's okay. I have two questions. One is like what I was thinking was it's in education and with schools to do that, but I also was thinking maybe with tourists or if you go somewhere and that you have this like a play or like this what you have with the game, that maybe this is also very interesting for tourists or you also already do that. I didn't, and how you can do that, you know, and also in this was one question. How do you do that? And the second is, I saw now that you like cleaning up or trash to take trash from the ground. This is also like an activity. Is that true? Is that like, or is that something that we can put as an activity maybe? Or is it the question?
Mhm.
Is that also because I'm here with a partner like Trash Heroes, and they are actually in the whole world. They are doing that like when a date, then everybody goes cleaning, and then they weight their trash, and we had the idea that I do that already long time. That every time when I go out, I say to me, I will maximum take 3 things from the ground because otherwise I'm standing everywhere to clean a bit, you know, that I'm doing. And it's like something, a movement maybe to bring into that and to say, okay, if everybody do that, you know, take 3 things from the ground, that this has already a big impact. But it's not something maybe to wait or that's maybe the problem, how you can do that. And is that possible, like Trash Heroes are coming inside like a community and they do that at your platform? Is that something which like Gemeinde or community that they could do that? Because that will be very interesting, I think, just the connection and that there is something which could bring like a, yeah, also commercial, I think that this is like some movement. Yes, I think we want to do that. And I was asking or thinking that maybe that's something also interesting for you, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe Lucas can show you the functionality actually that we have built in the ARK. We have 3 kind of standardized flagship formats that can be or that are integrated in the ARK. One is the Classic Pirates, which is trash collection. And you can call it Trash Heroes, whatever you want. It's just a functionality to log the trash that you have cleaned up. And Lucas, maybe you quickly show it also on the leaderboard and in the community.
Sure. Yeah. So because we've been doing trash cleanups since the very beginning of Green Steps, we wanted to be able to visualize this. So on any activity, there is a button in the dashboard called Log Collected Trash. And yeah, in here, you just input the number that has been collected in kilograms. And then all the participants of that activity get a part of the trash. Yeah? So if you collect 100 kilos in 10 people, and everybody gets 10 kilo of trash into their profile. And yeah, so this is then counted also in the community. So as a community, you can see the total of all the trash cleanups that have happened within the activities of that community. Same with commons. So that's then the sum of all the events in all the communities in that commons. And I don't know if we show it in the region. But then there is the leaderboard where you can see the default with impact points, but you can also see the trash collection leaderboard, which is then all the trash collected on all the platform, and then also basically comparison among the communities. Yeah, so
very good.
Of course, we built this in mind with Trash Heroes movement, and yeah, it's ready. It can be used for logging and public visualization of the the trash collection impact. For the
Very
second question that you had about the like something, I picked up 3 pieces of trash today. We never thought about that, and of course, if you think that this is a thing, and we would like to have a way to signalize this on the ARK, we can talk about it and implement it for the group of people that are doing that. I find it also a nice thing to do. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry that I didn't know
Yeah,
that, but
no
I
worries.
think also like these trash heroes, it will be, I think for them will be very interesting that they have then this rating, you know, because everybody wants, I mean, they do that, they go one day, but they don't see that then last time what they done. So I think it will be very interesting. And I asked yesterday that they go once to see and check your site, and I will tell you when something happened. But like a small project also with maybe Hans, with the media, or me and my boyfriend, we want to do that like a movement. And if there is coming together a group that we can then go as this group at ARK, and that will be very nice if that's possible. But like a small project, I think. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, it would be really nice. I tried that actually also here. We have waste collection kind of umbrella associations. So they are in charge of collecting waste and recycling it. But they kind of didn't understand the concept, because it's a deeply meritocratic concept. No, you do something for society, and I think it should be possible to see what people have done. It's nice, no? But some governments, they don't really want to collaborate with NGOs. Maybe it's different with the trash heroes or whatever communities in Switzerland. Would be great if you can introduce it to them.
I will. Very good. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, and then the second question was about the tourism application of the quests. And yeah, this is definitely something that we had in mind. And this is basically ready for anyone to do that. Yeah, Knut?
No, I think Hans wants to leave, so maybe we just let him say goodbye. Or is it Youssef? No, Youssef.
Youssef left, yeah.
Youssef left. Okay, good. But Hans was also typing something, so is it still something that you want to
You
add?
muted, Hans. You muted.
Corrected the spelling mistake of this.
Youssef made a good message. I think we should read it because he gave the input about the dice button randomization of the selection which kit shall guide. And he wrote dice button. I think that was easy to misunderstood, so I corrected that to dice button.
Yeah, I have to roll the dice. Which player is?
Yeah, there's another gamification little feature.
Has to pull the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be good, because it's also, for me, the dice has become a very important tool. I always have one in my pencil case. So if I ask students to read, I never do it in order. I always ask them to roll the dice, no? And it works very well. You take control out of the teacher's hands and their hands.
Yeah, and it can go both ways, because some kids really don't want to, and others want very much. And like this, I think gamification can work more easily and be really helpful.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That's a really nice idea, yeah. Okay, I put it down. And sorry I interrupted you, Lucas. You were talking about the second question of Martina with tourism, right?
Yeah, but I think I basically answered. So anyone can do the quests, and this was definitely on our mind that this is a great tool for any town which wants to promote sustainable tourism, to basically gamify their nature monuments in the town. Already we import the nature monuments from Austria. We also want to import now the ones from Czech Republic. So we want to basically make a huge database of all the nature monuments in whatever countries are interested, and that already makes it much easier to get started. Yeah, and be used for this purpose. Good. Anything else, or are we going to resolve the bird?
Are we good? Are we ready? Are we
Okay.
ready?
Can we see it again?
I don't know. Is it a radpole?
A what?
Radpole? No.
No, the
Let's see.
English name is Eurasian linnet.
No, let me see. Okay, no, I don't know.
Eurasian
But I've never
linnet.
seen.
It's a bullfinch. It's a bullfinch, and I was just like really elevated. I don't know why I have this feeling, but this is how my nature affection started. Whenever I see a bird that I don't know, I'm kind of taking off. So I'm sharing again the screen. Yeah, so we have scheduled our next call on August 14th. So we have again a break in July. 6 p.m., even an hour later, I realize now. And here you see the common linnet. So the